Page 10, Unit 4, Role of Money Market, Debt Market and Forex Market.
Page 10.
Call/notice money market operations. Under call money market, funds are transacted on overnight basis. Under notice money market, for 2 days to 14 days. Participants. Participants include banks, excluding RRBs, and primary dealers, PDs, both as borrowers and lenders. Non-bank institutions are not permitted in the call/notice money market with effect from August 6, 2005. Interest rate. Eligible participants are free to decide on interest rate in call/notice money market. Calculation of interest rate payable is based on FIMMDA's Fixed Income Money Market and Derivative Association of India Handbook of Market Practices. Reporting requirement. Point 1. It is mandatory for all negotiated dealing systems members to report all call/notice money market deals on NDS. Deals should be reported within 15 minutes, irrespective of the size of the deal or whether the counterparty is a member of the NDS or not. In case there is a repeated non-reporting of the deals by an NDS member, it will be considered whether non-reported deals by that member should be treated as invalid. Point 2. The reporting time on NDS is up to 5 p.m. on weekdays and 2:30 p.m. on Saturdays, or as decided by RBI from time to time. Prudential limits for call/notice money. Borrowing. On a fortnightly average basis, outstanding borrowing should not exceed 100% of capital funds, that is sum of Tier 1 and Tier 2 capital, of the latest audited balance sheet. However, banks are allowed to borrow a maximum of 125% of their capital funds on any day during a fortnight. Lending. On a fortnightly average basis, lending outstanding should not exceed 25% of their capital funds. However, banks are allowed to lend a maximum of 50% of their capital funds on any day during a fortnight. Instrument of government funding. Instrument of government borrowing. The government makes use of different types of instrument with maturities ranging from 10 days to more than 30 years. To meet the temporary receipt and expenditure mismatch, it obtains overdraft from RBI under Ways and Means advances. For short-term liquidity, it issues cash management bills, treasury bills of 91 days, 182 days and 364 days maturity. For long-term fund needs, it issues dated securities in the form of bonds/long-term loans. Treasury bills. These are the instruments of short-term borrowing by the central/state government. They are promissory notes issued at discount and for a fixed period. These were first issued in India in 1917. Objectives. These are issued to raise funds for meeting expenditure needs and also provide outlet for parking temporary surplus funds by investors. Investors. Treasury bills can be purchased by anyone, including individuals, except state government. These are issued by RBI and sold through fortnightly or monthly auctions at varying discount rates depending upon the bids. Denomination. Minimum amount of face value ₹1 lakh and in multiples thereof. There is no specific amount/limit on the extent to which these can be issued or purchased. Maturity 91 days, 182 days and 364 days. Rate of interest market determined based on demand for and supply in the money market. Settlement cycle of primary auction in treasury bills T+1 November 2012. Other features: high liquid, safe and attractive yield. Issued in Demat form and held in SGL account or constituent SGL accounts of banks with RBI. RBI sells treasury bills on auction basis to bidders quoting above the cut-off price fixed by RBI on weekly or fortnight basis by calling bids from banks and other bodies. Page number 11. Cash Management Bills. CMB. CMB, introduced on 11.08.11, is a short-term security to be sold by Government of India to raise temporary money for cash management needs. Features. Point 1. CMB have the generic character of a treasury bills and their sale is subject to terms and conditions specified in the general notification dated 31st March 1998 issued by Government of India. Point 2. The tenure is less than 91 days but the notified amount and date of issue depends upon the temporary cash requirement of the government. Point 3. It is issued at discount to the face value through auctions as in the case of treasury bills. Point 4. The announcement of auction is made by RBI 1 day prior to the date of auction. Point 5. The settlement of the auction is on T+1 basis. Point 6. Non-competitive bidding scheme for treasury bills is not extended to the CMBs. Point 7. It is tradable and qualifies for ready forward facility. Point 8. Investment reckoned as an eligible investment in government securities by bank for SLR purpose. Date securities and coupon rated. Dated securities and coupon rates. Dated securities. These are the instruments with tenure over 1 year. Returns on dated securities are based on fixed coupon rates akin to corporate bonds. These are considered risk-free. Coupon rate. The coupon rate is the interest/discount rate offered by a debt instrument. It is that indicated on the bond/debenture/FD certificate. Actually, the rate offered on each security is the coupon rate on that instrument. It cannot be changed during the tenure of the instrument. Certificate of Deposit. Objective. This scheme was introduced in July 1989 to enable the banking system to mobilize bulk deposit from the market which they can attract at competitive rates of interest. Major features are: who can issue? The value is scheduled commercial banks except RBs and all India financial institutions within their umbrella limit. CRR/SLR. This is applicable on the issue price in case of banks. Investors. Value of these investors column is individuals other than minors, corporations, companies, trusts, funds, associations, etc. Maturity. Maturity is minimum 7 days, maximum 12 months in case of FIs, minimum 1 year and maximum 3 years. For amount, the minimum is Rs 1 lakh, beyond which it is in multiples of Rs 1 lakh. Interest rate, market related, fixed or floating. Loan against collateral of CD not permitted. Premature cancellation is not allowed. Transfer endorsement and delivery anytime. Nature. Usance permissionary note can be issued in dematerialization form only with effect to June 30, 2002. Other conditions. Point 1. If payment delay is holiday to be paid on next preceding business day. Point 2. Issued at a discount to face value. Point 3. Duplicate can be issued after giving public notice and obtaining indemnity. Commercial paper. CP, introduced during 1990, is a short-term money market instrument issued as an unsecured usance promissory note and privately placed. The objective is to enable highly rated corporate borrowers and primary dealers to diversify their sources of short-term borrowings. Who can issue commercial paper (CP)? Companies, primary dealers (PDs), and all India financial institutions (FIs). For PDs, FIs, no eligible criteria except that their borrowing should be within their umbrella overall borrowing limit. Eligibility criteria for a company. A company is eligible to issue CP if A. Its tangible net worth as per latest audited balance sheet is not less than 4 crores. B. Sanctioned working capital limit by a bank or all India financial institutions. C. The borrower accounts are classified as a standard asset by financing banks, institutions, and D. Minimum credit rating from SEBI approved. D. Minimum credit rating from SEBI approved credit rating agency (CRA) is A3. Rating should not be due for review. Maturity. Minimum 7 days and max up to 1 year, which should not fall beyond the validity period of credit rating.
Page 12.
Amount. Minimum rupees 5 lakh or multiples thereof. Aggregate amount as approved by board or indicated by CRA, whichever is lower. Time period ceilings. The total amount should be raised within a period of 2 weeks from the date on which the issue opens. Each CP will have the same maturity date, even when issued on different dates. Every issue of CP, including renewal, should be treated as a fresh issue. Investors, individuals, banking companies, other corporate bodies registered incorporated in India and unincorporated bodies, non-resident Indians and FIIs. Bracket for FIIs within limits set for the investments by SEBI. Mode of issuance through any depositories approved by and registered with SEBI with effect 01.07.2001. PDs/FIs/banks shall hold CPs in demat form only. Standby facility. Banks and FIs have flexibility to provide for a CP issue, credit enhancement by way of standby assistance/credit backstop facility, etc., based on their commercial judgment and as per terms prescribed by them. Other features. No issuer shall have issue of commercial paper underwritten or co-accepted. It is issued at a discount to face value. Call or put option is not available. Issuing and paying agents would report issuance of CP on NDS by end of second day. OTC trades to be reported within 15 minutes at FIMMDA platform. OTC trade settlement period is T+0 or T+1. Issuer can buy back through secondary market after 7 days from issue. Issuer can buy back through secondary market after 7 days from date of issue. Interest rate derivative instruments. Forward rate agreement. FRA. Forward rate agreement is a financial contract between two parties to exchange interest payments for a notional principal amount on settlement date for a specified period from start date to maturity date. Accordingly, on the settlement date, cash payments based on the contract (fixed) and the settlement rate are made by the parties to one another. Interest rate swap (IRS). It is a financial contract between two parties exchanging or swapping a stream of interest payments for a notional principal amount on multiple occasions during a specified period. Such contracts generally involve exchange of a fixed to floating or a floating to floating rates of interest. On each payment date occurring during the swap period, cash payments based on fixed/floating and floating rates are made by the parties to one another. Interest rate futures. It is a standardized exchange traded contract with an actual or notional interest bearing instrument as the underlying asset. Repo. It refers to sale of a security, normally a government security, with the commitment to repurchase of the same security at a later date. Whenever a bank is in need of short-term funds, it can enter into a repo transaction with other bank or RBI. The difference in the sale price and repurchase price is similar to interest on cash advance. The effective rate on repo is marginally lower than the corresponding money market rate, as the lending bank has security in hand till the loan is repaid. In the books of a bank, the transaction appears like a sale and purchase transaction. Treasury of the respective bank can use the repo transaction both for investment purpose of raising short-term funds. RBI makes use of repo extensively as an instrument to control liquidity in the interbank market. In case of short-term liquidity problems, The banks also make use of repo under liquidity adjustment facility. Whenever RBI wants to absorb liquidity from the interbank market, it resorts to purchase of government securities, that is a repo transaction. On the other hand, to inject liquidity, it makes use of reverse repo transaction and resorts to a sale of government securities. The rate at which these transactions are undertaken is called repo rate and reverse repo rate, which keeps on changes. However, RBI maintains some spread in these rates. Corporate securities debt paper. These securities referred to as non-SLR investment include the debenture and long-term bonds issued by companies and financial institutions. Tier 2 bonds such as redeemable cumulative bonds issued by banks also fall in the category. Yield on such securities is higher than the government securities. Most of these securities are issued in demat form. Yield on such security is higher than government securities. Most of these securities are issued in demat form. Companies issue these securities after getting them rated from rating agencies. When these securities are issued in international market, rating is obtained from international rating agencies. Debentures and bonds. These debt instruments are issued by companies as secure instruments by creating charge on their assets, including floating charge or at times without any charge also called unsecured debentures. Conventionally, in India, the debentures are issued by companies and bonds by public sector undertakings, PSUs. Are issued by companies and bonds by public sector undertakings, PSUs. Page 13. PSUs may issue these bonds with or without government guarantee. Debentures are governed by provisions of Companies Act and transferable by registration only. Bonds are negotiable instruments. Companies issues unsecured debentures and bonds have to comply with Companies Acceptance of Deposits Rules 1975. Both may be issued with different structures such as A. Structured obligations with put-call options, B. Convertibility options, C. Zero coupon bonds, D. Floating rate bonds, E. Deep discount bonds. These can be issued with redemption options in installments called period bonds. Issuer of these securities appoints a trustee where the bonds or debentures are secured. Such trustee functions in a fiduciary capacity to protect the interest of debenture/bond holders. The role of trustee is governed by SEBI guidelines. Collateralized borrowing and lending obligation, CBLO. CBLO, an RBI approved money market instrument, is developed by CCIL for the benefit of the entities phased out from the interbank call money market or given restricted participation in terms of ceiling on call borrowing and lending transactions and who do not have access to call money market. It is a discounted instrument available in electronic book entry form for the maturity period ranging from 7 days to 90 days. Can be up to 1 year as per RBI guidelines. In order to enable the market participants to borrow and lend funds, CCIL provides the dealing system through Indian Financial Network, Infinet. Members. Membership is granted to NDS members and non-NDS members, including banks, including cooperative banks, financial institutions, insurance companies, mutual funds, primary dealers, banks cum primary dealers, NBFC, corporate, provident/pension funds, etc. are eligible. Features of CBLO. It creates an obligation on the borrower to return borrowed money with interest at a specified date. It also provides an authority to lender to receive money and interest at a specified future date with an option to transfer the authority to another person for a value received. There is an underlying charge on government securities held in custody with CCIL for the amount. It is issued at a discount to face value. Under CBLO, securities of borrowers will be held in their constituent SGL account opened with CCIL and will not be transferred to lender. Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999. The Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999 extends to the whole of India. It also applies to all branches, offices and agencies outside India owned or controlled by a person resident in India. It came into force with effect from June 1, 2000. Dealing in foreign exchange, Section 3. No person shall, point A, deal in or transfer any foreign exchange or any foreign security to any person not being an authorized person. Point B, make any payment to or for the credit of any person resident outside India or any manner. Point C, receive otherwise through an authorized person any payment by order or on behalf of any person resident outside India in any manner. Point D, enter into any financial transaction in India as consideration or for or in association with acquisition or creation or transfer of a right to acquire any asset outside India by any person. Holding of foreign exchange. No person resident in India shall acquire, hold, own, possess or transfer any foreign exchange, foreign security or any immovable property situated outside India unless permitted by RBI. Holding of foreign currency by resident. A person resident in India may hold, own, transfer or invest in foreign currency, foreign security or any immovable property situated outside India if such currency, security or property was acquired, held or owned by such person when he was resident outside India or inherited from a person who was resident outside India. Holding of foreign currency by non-residents. A person resident outside India may hold, own, transfer or invest in Indian currency, security or any immovable property when situated in India if such currency, security or property was acquired, held or owned by such person when he was resident in India or inherited from a person who was resident in India. Reserve Bank's powers to issue directions to authorized person. Section 11. Reserve Bank may give to the authorized person any direction in regard to making of payment or the doing or the desist from doing any act related to foreign exchange or foreign security, direct any authorized person to furnish such information in such manner as it deems fit. Penalty on authorized person. Where any authorized person contravenes any direction given by the Reserve Bank under this Act or fails to file any return as directed by the Reserve Bank, the Reserve Bank may, after giving reasonable opportunity of being heard, impose on the authorized person a penalty which may extend to Rs 10,000 and in case of continuing contravention with an additional penalty which may extend to Rs 2,000 for every day during which such contravention continues. Page 14. Power of Reserve Bank to inspect authorized person. Section 12. Reserve Bank may undertake an inspection of the business of any authorized person for the purpose of verifying the correctness of any statement, information or particulars furnished to the Reserve Bank, obtaining any information or particulars which such authorized person has failed to furnish on being called upon to do so. Penalties. Section 13. If any person contravenes any provision of this Act, contravenes any rule, regulation, notification, direction or order issued in exercise of the powers under this Act, or contravenes any condition subject to which an authorization is issued by the Reserve Bank, he shall, upon adjudication, be liable to a penalty up to thrice the sum involved in such contravention where such amount is quantifiable, or up to Rs 2 lakh where the amount is not quantifiable. If such contravention is a continuing one, further penalty which may be extended to Rs 5,000 for every day after the first day during which the contravention continues. If any person fails to make full payment of the penalty imposed on him under Section 13, within a period of 90 days from the date on which the notice for payment of such penalty is served upon him, he shall be liable to civil imprisonment. US 14. Directorate of Enforcement. US 36 Central Government shall establish a Directorate of Enforcement with Director and other officers not below the rank of an Assistant Director shall take up for investigation the contravention referred to in Section 13. Empowering other officers. US 38. Central Government may authorize any officer of customs or any central excise officer or any police officer or any other officer of the central government or a state government to exercise such of the powers and discharge such of the duties of Director of Enforcement or any other officer of enforcement under this Act. The officers shall exercise the powers which are conferred on the income tax authorities under the Income Tax Act 1961. Power to make regulations. US 47 Reserve Bank may make regulations to carry out provisions of this Act and the rules made thereunder. Such regulations may be provided for a. The permissible classes of capital account transactions, the limits of admissibility of foreign exchange for such transactions, and the prohibition, restriction or regulation of certain capital account transactions under Section 6. B. The manner and the form in which declaration is to be furnished under Clause A of the subsection 1 of Section 7. C. The period within which and the manner of repatriation of foreign exchange under Section 8. D. The limit up to which any person may possess foreign currency or foreign coins under Clause A of Section 9. E. The class of persons and the limit up to which foreign currency account may be held or operated under Clause B of Section 9. F. The limit up to which foreign exchange acquired may be exempted under Clause D of Section 9. G. The limit up to which foreign exchange acquired may be retained under Clause E of Section 9.